Hi moms, this is Zara from Baby Waishi, and today I wanted to talk about a topic which is something that I feel that all moms kind of battle against themselves for. That is the topic on how to leave your child to go to work. It's a topic which I think we battle against ourselves as well as people around us. It's very hard to leave your child, a small child, whether it's with a maid at home or at a daycare. It's just, it's really something that creates a lot of turmoil. A lot of guilt is something that we feel, and needless most of the time that is. But I thought, let us talk a little about it. Specifically today I wanted to talk about having a maid at home and leaving your child with the maid versus sending your child to a play school or a daycare. What I did is that I have sent my daughter to a play school come daycare, and I did happen to weigh the pros and cons before doing this. So I thought, let me share my viewpoints with all of you. First off is choosing a maid. The area that I stay in, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of good maids equipped to handle a child. You will get maids for jhadu pocha, you will get maids for dusting, washing your clothes and all of that, but to take care of a child is a whole different ball game, and I couldn't really find anyone who would take care of a child that well. Whereas in a play school they have qualified personnel, even the didis there, not the teachers, the didis who take care of a child and even clean them up. They have a very good dialect, which is the next point. A big point of mine was I did not want my child to learn their dialect. As biased as that may sound, it is a fact. I have seen a lot of my friends' children who stay at home with the maid, who obviously for some reasons may not have had a very good education. So their dialect is very how would you say, more colloquial and a little on the rougher side, which isn't something that I wanted my child to learn. Whereas on the other side, in the play school, my daughter is exposed to a lot of languages. At home we speak in Marathi with her, at school they speak in Marathi, Hindi, English, all of that. So at least she has a much wider exposure in that sense. Next concern of mine was how to keep an eye on my child. If I had a maid at home, then I would have had to invest in a lot of CCTVs, which, let's face it, is an expensive affair, and I didn't really want to go in for that. But on the other hand, in a daycare, they already have the CCTVs installed, and all those costs are included in the fee structure. So it's really very convenient. What if she gets fed up of my child, so to speak? What if she just loses patience? My daughter, like many other children, does tend to test my patience, so there's no question about the fact that she would be testing the maid's patience as well. And she being just one person alone at home with my child, I think it could possibly be too much. Now, I am her mom, so even when she does something naughty, if I raise my voice and just say, Pravi, don't do that, she may stop. And being her mom, I know that, okay, I'm not gonna hit her. But I wouldn't have that kind of assurance with a maid. She would be the only one handling my child, and if she had to push the maid a little more, then she may hit her or shout at her very loudly, which isn't something that I would like. But on the other hand, in a play school and a daycare, what happens is that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of ladies there, teachers as well as those didis there. So what happens is that even if, for example, my daughter is being very irritating and one maid loses her patience and loses her cool, she can still hand over my daughter to someone else and say, handle her, take care of her and go away. There would not be that risk of hitting or shouting too much. The point is interaction. The place where I stay, they don't have a lot of children nearby, and the ones that are there I am not familiar with. So keeping her in a daycare or a play school just ensures that she has that bit of interaction. Although at this point she is just 20 months, mind you, I'm not sure how much of an impact it has, but yes, I feel good that she is interacting with some other children as well. If she were alone at home with a maid, again, that really would not happen. The next issue that I want to talk about is the possible risk of theft. With a maid at home, the next issue that I want to talk about is the risk of theft. With a maid at home, you do run a risk that okay, she might, you know, flick something from home. But at daycare that does not happen. I have a lot of friends who have maids at home who have said, you know, oh my god, my ring was missing that day, or my one spoon was missing, or a fork was missing, or something of that sort. But at daycare, there's no such risk. You know, your home is at least safe, your child is safe, so your belongings is not something you have to worry about. The thing that was a point of concern for me was the fact of boredom. Now my daughter loves going outside. I know a lot of your children also would love to go outside, and were she at home, suppose not even just a maid, even if I had someone from the family coming home and looking after her, there would still be the fact that she would be homebound most of the time with her limited set of toys. So she would be bound to get bored really soon. Whereas at daycare, they have an outdoor play area, they have a lot more toys, so she has a lot of options. You know, she would not get bored per se. She would be able to be very well entertained for that long span of time when I'm not with her. Very important topic also that a lot of us think about is food. If you know, what kind of food will your child be having? Will you be cooking, or will your maid be cooking? If your child is finicky or not. All these things are thoughts that really go through our heads as moms and tend to confuse us a lot. There are some who prefer their maids to cook for their children. There are those who prefer to cook themselves. I should mention here that I am not a good cook at all. I am not someone who likes the kitchen. So the kind of food that I make, I'm very sure if before going to work, if I had to cook and prepare something and keep, my daughter would not have it. She would need something nice, hot and fresh. That is also something that I would prefer for her. Again, my daughter is also finicky with food. So another thought that I had in my mind was, you know, what if she doesn't eat? What if the maid tries to force feed her, or what if the maid cannot manage to feed her? This is again another risk at daycare. Most daycares and play schools, they ask for the parents to prepare something in a tiffin and give it to the child. And I am also very sure that if I had to prepare something and give my child, she would not have it 4 or 5 or 6 hours later. Considering that I would be out from home from 9 in the morning to 6 in the evening, I would not expect my daughter to have something at 5 o'clock which I prepared at 8 in the morning. That isn't really how my daughter is. She's quite finicky that way. And luckily though, I found a daycare where they prepare food themselves. They do not allow outside food per se, so that's something that I really liked. They have a cook right there, in-house cook, who cooks and prepares the meals just an hour before, or you know, just half an hour before, and the child is given that. If your child does not eat that, or if it's something that your child does not like, they go and they prepare something else for your child. So there are a lot of options, and I was very sure that my child would have something. That combined with the fact that all the children eat together around a table is something else that I liked, because usually children tend to imitate the other. So my daughter also, looking at other children eating, I'm sure would be able to eat much better and would develop good eating habits. Last and possibly the most important point is something that me and my husband debated around a lot, and this is about you know, having a maid and trusting the maid, and what if she had to just leave? That seems like a nightmare now, doesn't it? A lot of my friends, colleagues, they've had this issue when they are stay-in maids or day maids have just left one day and gone, or at the max given a week's notice. And that has resulted in a lot of chaos. If you're working, it is not possible to suddenly leave all your work and sit at home with your child. You would still have a lot of responsibilities in the workplace. So with a maid, I just felt like I would not be able to handle the fact that, you know, what if she suddenly left? That thought would just be nigging me at the back of my mind. And even if I had a maid who you know, who gave me a week's notice or 2 weeks notice, I would still have it at the back of my head that I need to find another maid, I need to train her, I need to show her this, that, develop trust in her. All that is such a long process, which is something that I didn't have to work on in the school, because the school isn't just going to close down at the drop of a hat. They would be there, and they're a lot more trustworthy in the sense that I don't have to worry about them leaving and going. All these points that I spoke about are probably the same points that you may be thinking about. I hope that I've been able to get them all out in the open, and one thing that I really want to say is don't feel guilty, moms. Please don't. Whatever we do is for the best of our child, whether it's getting a maid or whether it's sending your child to a daycare. It doesn't matter that that you're leaving your child someplace, as long as the place is safe and they are well tended to. After all, the reason that we are working is also just for them, right? So please try not to feel guilty. Just concentrate on finding the best option for your child, whether it be a maid at home, whether it be sending your child to a play school and a daycare. Just do it. Don't feel guilty about it. Just do your best and know that your child is in good hands and is feeling safe and secure. That is what matters in the long run. So moms, if you have enjoyed this video, please do click the like button below and do subscribe to us if you haven't already. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, if you have any requests that you would like us to work on, please do let us know. We are taking requests as well. And as usual, until next time, see you.